So hello and welcome everybody to Webinar Wednesday from Sight and Sound Technology. My name is Stuart Lawler and may I officially wish you a very belated New Year. Happy New Year. I think we're 13th of January, 13th of January already, but still Happy New Year. It's our first official Webinar Wednesday of 2021. And what a great one we have to start talking about Envision, the newest product to come to our portfolio and something that we're very excited about. Our presenters today are Karl Brealey, who's no stranger to Webinar Wednesday, always with us, so great to have Karl back. And we have Mr. Stuart Beveridge from Seascape up in Fife, and Stuart is part of the Assistive Technology Social Hub webinars, which we run in association with Seascape, and they take place every other Thursday. And speaking of the Assistive Technology Hub, they have a webinar next Thursday at 10 a.m. and they're going to be talking all about new features in JAWS and Zoom Text 2021. So they'll be talking all about the voice assistant, etc. So join Stuart and Sam from Sight and Sound for that next week. All information will be on our social media. But today we are talking all about a really new and exciting product with huge potential, as Stuart and Karl will tell you very shortly. Before we do that though, however, if you'd like to get in touch with us today, you can raise your hand. Sounds like people know how to do that already because there's raised hands already by pressing Alt and Y on Windows, Option and Y on a Mac, or pressing the raise hand button if you're using a mobile application. Similarly, you can chat by pressing Alt and H on Windows, Option and H on a Mac, or you can activate the chat button. And if you're chatting, please make sure you post your message to all panelists and attendees so that everybody can see your message. And Anna and Sharon Lyons from Sight and Sound Technology, they will be keeping an eye on the chat and raised hands, and we will make sure to allow plenty of time for questions throughout the session, which I know is going to be very busy. We did get some email questions in advance of the session, and thank you to those people who got in touch, and we will get to those during the session as well. But now I'm delighted to introduce Stuart Beveridge. So Stuart, welcome. Thanks very much for coming today. And of course, Karl Brealey. And guys, I'm going to hand over to you both to introduce us to the world of Envision AI. So Karl, do you want to kick it off?
I will do. I am just going to follow up with your little bit of housekeeping though. If you do have a question to ask, can you send it please to all panelists and attendees so everyone can see it?
I think I said that, by the way.
Did you?
I think I did.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm that nervous I wasn't paying attention.
Because you've reminded me about it so much in the past.
I'm normally having to cover you from not doing it. Yeah.
Indeed, you did.
It's programmed into me now for every Wednesday. Anyway, good afternoon. As Stuart said, this is going to be confusing because we have Stuart, and it's hard enough for me to comprehend at the best of times. So myself and Stuart Beveridge will be going through the features and functionality of the Envision glasses. Now, the Envision glasses are based around the Google 2 smart glasses. So as some of you may be aware, the Google glasses were released some years back, but had a few issues with people were classing it as spying and having too much information on people, because basically you could look at someone and it would ping their information, search Google for all the searches that person had done, and it could actually identify you from your Facebook profile, from Twitter and everything else. And people started to get a little bit antsy with the fact that, why have you got that much information, albeit it's all freely available on the web. So there was a few problems with it, and Google being Google just thought, you know what, we're going to shelf it. We're not that fussed. I mean, they're not short of a few quid, so I don't think there were too many issues with what was going to happen. So what the guys at Envision have done, they've created with the Google Glasses 2 this cracking piece of equipment that can, at this moment in time, I believe, do a lot more than any of your Oxford Oxite glasses, your Orcams, and pretty much everything else at the minute. So we're going to move on to it. I am going to be wearing it, and I am going to bring Stuart in at various different points, because he's going to be the best person to explain the feel, the weight, the size, and everything else. So I will just start off. I'll tell you what, I'm going to see if I can clip my microphone onto the side of the glasses so you can hear what as I just scroll through the. This might just stick straight in my ear. Oh.
And just while you're doing that, Karl, I'll just remind people again, you can raise your hand by pressing Alt and Y, or you can chat by pressing Alt and H if you want to type messages into the chat. And please, if you can mark them for all panelists and attendees, Anna and Sharon will be able to spot them.
Right. So can you hear that on there?
Yeah. Is that the loudest it can go?
Yeah.
Right, hang on 2 seconds. I might need to place the. I'm trying to work out the best place for the microphone. It's all right when I plug it on, and I obviously have to put it on my ear. It pops straight off. Right. I'll tell you what. Let me tuck it under.
Oh, that's good.
That's better.
That's very good, Karl.
Find. Identify.
Right, I'll go back to the start of the menu. So on this, you just basically have a menu screen. For those that are sighted, there is a little prism where with a little bit of vision, you can actually make out what's on a screen in front of you. It's very clever the way they've done it. It's a clear perspex piece of plastic that obviously with using like a periscope and stuff, it has a prism effect. So it actually does bring up a little screen. So as I start to move across it, I'll just go through the basic functions that are on there to start with. So you have a read menu. Identify. Find option.
Call.
I'm not going to say it because it's telling you. Call.
Device settings. Feature preferences. Help.
So, I mean, even with the help menu on there, it's a very clever thing. So what we're going to do to start with, I'm going to go into the read menu. So as I swipe across, I will just double tap on the side of the device.
Instant text.
So as you can hear there, you've got an instant text format, scan text,
batch scan,
and a batch scan, which is very clever. So you can multi-page scan your text.
Scan text, instant text.
So I'm just going to put it on instant. I haven't got any text. How professional am I? I'm trying to do this one-handed and cat-handed at the same time. So I'm just going to click it on instant text. Basically, with instant text, what that's going to do is that's going to look for any text that's around you. So say if you're wearing these within a supermarket, you click on instant text and everything you look and every direction you look, it'll be trying to read what it's seeing. So if I just...
Instant text. Anya RNL, who, BRNIOI, OC.
That's trying to read the bottom of my computer screen. Bear me 1 second.
Hash, UUMMO, K-Terra. Dash dash dot, S dash,
that's always great when it starts just to read like that.
NIH. Instant text.
Right, bear me 1 second. I've got too much going on around me. I've got my daughter's pictures all up on the wall that have all got text on it. I've got 2 computer screens and a load of printed text now in front of me. So it's sitting there having a bit of a confusing time. Obviously, this is maybe one of the downfalls for seeing text. It is trying to literally pick up everything that's around it. But when you have it...
Suet B4N0, NNI Cyacint, O, Endon, DEC.
Yeah, it's picking up too many screens. What I'm going to do with that one for a second, we'll go back to that in a bit. And what I'll do is I'll shut down one of my monitors and just leave it so there's one up in front of me, or even turn that one off as well, just so I can get a feeling for it. So what we'll do quickly, I'm going to go over to the scan text option.
Scan text.
So you double tap the side. I'm going to hold a document up in front of me. The faster you can hear that ticking, it means it's picking up more information. The problem is now I haven't got enough hands to press the button to take a picture. Right, hang on 2 seconds. This is the... I'm going to have to try and tuck the microphone behind my ear.
Scan text.
Right.
Batch scan.
Actually sounds better
Scan
now.
text.
Yeah, no, that's fine. It's hooked right behind my ear. I look an absolute plum now. Right, as you heard there, it's taken the image. You can just hear the little tune as it's just converting the text.
Reader, one call. group during COVID-19 done the current government restrictions. Please visit our website at www.oncalhurance.co.uk for up-to-date details on how to contact us.
Caro Arsenio.
There you go.
Sending first part baby card bar Doncast. Su Young.
Right.
Swipe down again to exit.
I'm just going to stop
Scan
that
to
for a
read.
second because that's going to start reading out my house address and everything else that's on the top of this email and contact number. Basically what you can see there, and a very strange thing, it started to read random Spanish. Now, what this device does while it's done it is it will automatically recognize any language. I think I'll try and find out the full list of languages, but if it sees French, Spanish, documentation, German, I think there's a Chinese and a few others, it'll automatically pick up and start reading that language, obviously in its native tongue. So it is very clever. So as a text reader, it will scan the document and it will read. As you can hear with the different bleeps, as it's getting closer and it's picking up more text, it gives you a sound representation of actually to where to hold the document. So obviously the faster the beeps start happening, the better the positioning of the text is. So it gives you that really good option to do it.
Just quickly come in, Karl, I'll just say that it should be able to read text in over 60 different languages, but please don't ask me what all the languages are because I don't know myself.
No, that's fine. Thank you for that, Stuart. So you've got 60 languages coming out of that, which is phenomenal in a fact where you don't have to switch. There are other devices where you have to switch between languages and it won't give you the option to like hold and store all of them in one go. So you have to flip, go into settings and change it. That's ability to read off the cuff is pretty impressive, even if I do say so myself. Right, so we've just briefly gone through the read function. I'm just going to go through some of the other features because I am conscious that we will run out of time before we get to any of the other clever stuff. So identify again, you heard that. Now this
Describe scene.
Now describe scene. This is something that's it's quite clever. So at the minute I'm just going to turn and I'm in, well, it'll tell you hopefully.
A living room with balloons.
So there you go. It tells you tells you I'm in the living room. It can see sofas, chairs and balloons. Balloons is a random one just to have sat there. It was my daughter's birthday on Sunday, so we've got this massive archway of about 300 balloons that we had to blow up currently on one of the walls. So
Wow.
as obviously, yeah, exactly. Wow. I know I've got a lot of puff, but even that was a struggle for me. So as you can hear there, it tells you where you are. It gives you a really good representation of what kind of room you are. And that could be anywhere. You could walk into an office situation, you could be out in a street and it will say, or looking at a park, it will say park bench, grass, trees. And it really does give you a very good representation of that.
Scene.
So I'll just move on to the
Detect
next
colors.
one. The color detector, I'm sure you guys all know what this does. I'll just go through it quickly though.
Black, light cyan, dark green, teal,
I'm just
gray,
holding up
dark green,
a little
teal,
egg that my
green,
daughter
dark
got
green,
with a present in
gray,
it.
dark green, teal, gray, teal.
And it's trying to pick up all the other colors
Green,
around it, but it says
gray,
teal,
black,
which it is. And
teal,
that
gray,
is, as far
black,
as I'm
light
concerned,
cyan,
very
gray.
impressive. Right, let's just come out of that.
Detect colors.
So coming out of this, I forgot to mention the basic functionality of it. It's swiping down a little sensor bar that's on the right hand side of the glasses. It's swiping backwards and forwards and up and down is how you control it. So I swipe forwards
Describe
and
scene.
backwards.
Identify.
So we've
Find.
done the identify. I'm just going to put it on the find and then we're going to get
Find.
some
Find
questions.
object.
So with a find an object, it gives you a list of different things that are in there. But as you can hear, when I put it on a certain object,
Backpack, bicycle, chair,
there isn't many bicycles or
cup.
There we go. Hopefully. Now, if you can hear that pinging, it means it found a cup. Now, I did just cheat a little bit there because I lifted it up. But it will find, let me just bottle. There you go. It did that all on its own. So my head's turned and I found my water bottle. So obviously when it's pinging on there, it actually gives you a rough idea of where to stretch your hand out to know where.
Keyboard.
Keyboard, see if it'll find that. There we go. Not that you'd lose where your keyboard is.
Laptop.
There we go. And you can hear that pinging as it finds the phone. I don't know where my phone is. Let me put my phone. Now, this could be quite handy. If you drop your phone on the floor, apart from my phone's that big, it won't actually find it. There you go. It found it. When I go to a normal size phone and not this ginormous thing I have, it found it straight away.
Table.
TV. It's picking up the monitor that I'm looking straight at now.
TV.
Right.
TV.
That's it.
Table. Phone. Laptop. Find. Call.
Right.
Find.
Hang on 2 seconds.
Find object. Find people.
Right. Find people. Now, this could be the fact that I've programmed in. As with one of its competitors, Orcam, you can actually program into this people's faces, or just double tap, and it should try to find. I don't know if it'll pick up. There you go. It's telling me as I get closer to my screen, because I've obviously got small heads of Stuart and Sharon on there. It's tinging to tell me that there's actually someone in front. So say you're in a supermarket and you're looking for someone, if they can give you some help, you can keep turning around, and what it will do is it will ping in your ear the moment it actually sees a person.
Find people. Explore.
Right, now explore
TV.
is now basically the find mode, but everything you look at, it's got set up in its system. It will tell you it's there.
TV.
It likes the TV. Couch, there you go. I'm looking at my sofa. If it doesn't pick up my TV as normal, then
Couch.
There you go. We have a lot of sofas in my lounge.
Person. Keyboard.
So it starts to pick up everything that you have on. Right, let me come out of that one.
Find.
Oh.
Find people. Explore.
Right, so those functions quickly.
Find object. Find. Identify. Find. Call.
Right, now the call feature. This is basically what they call a buddy call. Now anyone, and you can literally have anyone that has a smartphone to sit there or even access it through a computer. I have the ability, if I'm out and about, to double tap that and it'll ask me call an ally. So if I click on that, I haven't.
Tony.shrub@sightandsound.co.uk.
We might go through this in a little bit before the end of the webinar, just to show people what I can do, because I've got Tony Shrub set up on there and he's not actually here, so it doesn't really help. Basically what would happen is once I call Tony through the glasses, the front camera turns on and Tony then has full access to what I'm facing. So you could be walking down the street and you've got lost. You can call your buddy. All of a sudden, they've got a full view of where you are. You could be in a supermarket needing help, say at these times as well, where with COVID-19, where you can be on your own in a supermarket because you're obviously social distancing and not close to anyone else. You could walk around a whole supermarket and someone could direct you to every product you ever needed. That on its own, I think, is a brilliant feature and can make a massive difference. But it's also, like I say, directions. You could be walking around a house. You could have put something down that you can't find. So while you're working away, you could sit there and go, bugger, I've lost the remote control. I can't find it. Oh, I know what. Tony's on the other end of it. I'll just give him a quick call on here. Have a look around the floor and around the sofa and around everywhere else and see if they can find it. Simple use like that. So it's like I say.
Connecting with Tony.shrub@sightandsound.co.uk.
I've now just called him. So we never know. He might actually pick up. We'll find out anyway. I might just get a no, go away. In the politest possible terms.
Come on, Tony, answer the phone. We want to test this feature.
And also, obviously, while you're doing this as well, you have two-way communication with that person, so they can talk in your ear and give you directions.
And just maybe, Karl, from the person's perspective, from the person who you're calling, he's seeing that on his screen of his mobile. Isn't that correct?
Yes, that's it. Yeah, they get a full view of what you're seeing. So wherever your head is facing, they can see exactly what's in front of you.
Is there any time limit on those calls? Can they be as long as?
As far as I'm aware, they'll last as long as the battery does.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not just like a quick 20-second burst and that's it. And with this as well, I know there are other devices where you can call people, be my eyes and stuff like that, but you're not guaranteed to know who you're getting. You could end up with Jeff living in Oklahoma. With these, you're picking and choosing every single person you want to speak to. So if you know that Margaret's great round the supermarket, Dan's really good at walking down the street and giving directions, and Michael's got the keenest eye to find a key you've dropped on the floor or something like that, you can pick and choose and also know when they're going to be available for you. So
device settings.
We have device settings. So
Audio.
From this moment, you can go through and change all the volume settings.
Wi-Fi
settings, we'll go through that in a little bit.
Bluetooth
As well, so this will Bluetooth into any earpieces. With regards to hearing aids, it does depend on how they are set up. Now, some of them will work with the transponder that you wear around your neck as well, like you use with a TV to send the signal. It's very difficult to get that to recognize what the Bluetooth is because you've got two devices trying to connect through another device. So, but with earbuds and the expensive hearing aids that my mum uses, it will Bluetooth straight into it. I've tried it with her hearing aids and it connects straight into it. The difference is that her hearing aids are kind of like £6,000, so it's an expensive way to go, but they work really well. Languages on there, you can change the base language of the device. So if you are of a different tongue, you can set it to any of the 60 languages that it will read, and it still will read accordingly to that. Display settings now, not a lot of people will get much use out of this. I do because it's easy for me to do it, obviously, and listening to it. So you have a display, you can change the brightness and the settings on there. Software is just your standard upgrades and stuff, and obviously your power button just to turn it off.
Device settings, feature preferences.
Preferences are the same.
Instant text preferences.
You can change the way it reads, the way it's laid out.
Scan text preferences.
Same with everything on there.
Preferences.
Teach faces, this is where you'd go into it and program in people's faces. The Allcam is very similar to the way it works. You get them to stand 3 feet in front of you. You take a picture and you name them. It works in the same way. Add allies in this part as well. So I can go into that, add someone else into the device. Basically what that is needed is it will send a email to the person. They then have to download the software, and it's just the Ally app it puts onto their phone or tablet, and then it gives them the ability to then speak to them.
Feature preference, help.
And then the help menu. Playground is a very good feature. It just gives you the chance, and it tells you how to do things. You can sit there, it will tell you to swipe 3 times. It gets you used to using a touch bar on the side. So if someone buys this device, we will deliver and set it up for them there and then with sat side by side. But the best thing to learn, and it's the way I learned it and the way every one of them works when you turn it on, it forces you to go through a list of instructions, different ways to swipe it and what they mean. And then it will say to you, like, swipe down 5 times. And until you've hit that 5th time, it won't move off of that function. So it's very clever to what it does. Tutorials as well. It will go through literally everything to do, and it's easy access.
About.
And then this will just give you the basic information. It should tell you what.
You are currently on version 1.0.90. Legal. Pairing mode. Reset device. Pairing legal. You are currently on about. Tutorials. Playground.
We'll just skip into tutorials just for 2 seconds.
Tutorial.
It literally.
Scan tech batch. Scan tutorial. Scan instant text reader. This feature instantly reads any text that is detected by the camera. It is the quickest way to read a piece of text, whether it is printed or handwritten. This is ideal for reading short pieces of text that you want to scan through. Follow the steps.
So me just touching it there, I pause the text.
This feature instantly
you can start it again. This is we'll just go through all the functions as we move on.
This feature pause instant text.
With a quick swipe backwards and forwards, you can also fast forward through the text and rewind. This is great for when if you full scan a full page of a full letter that's come through the letterbox. Basically, you don't want the gump at the top. The top third of any letter is pretty much who's contacting you and your contact details. So it gives you the option to swipe backwards and forwards to find maybe an important date to book a hospital appointment, or the contact number to bring someone and change some anything.
Swipe. Instant text tutorial. Scan batch reader tutorial. Describe scene tutorial. Reader. This feature describes what is seen in front of you. By using artificial intelligence, it is able to describe the scene. Step 1.
So as with this is basically the tutorial. What we're going to do is I'm going to stop for a second, and Sharon's going to start going through some questions.
Just there's loads.
I know. I was aware of how much.
Can I just suggest, Sharon, before you go through the questions,
Sure.
I think it might be really useful, Stuart, if you didn't mind giving us because I think one of the things a lot of people certainly asked me over the last few days was, how useful are these things really for blind people, and how, from a user's perspective, they work. And I think it would be really interesting, if you didn't mind, if we could hear your perspective on these and your journey, if you like, with Envision.
Yeah, so I'll try and be as brief as possible. So I actually used to use the Envision app for your smartphone on a daily basis. And that was fine. You know, it has all the features that the glasses have, apart from the video calling feature and the Explore mode, which Karl demonstrated. And the app was fine, you know, when I was at home or at work, you know, because I needed two hands to control the phone, and it was in, you know, a safe environment. But as a guide dog owner, one issue I had was that I needed two hands, as I've just said, you know, to operate the app on my iPhone. So it was very difficult when out and about to use it, because my left hand was always holding on to my guide dog's harness. And I think it's fair to say that for a long time now, myself, as well as other guide dog and obviously long cane users, have been crying out for a pair of smart glasses which would significantly improve the user experience for this sort of thing. So you would just be able to operate the device one-handed without the need to keep stopping and pointing your phone around. And again, not to frighten anybody, but I've just purchased recently an iPhone 12. And if I'm waving this thing around, the chances are, what if someone comes by and just swipes it out your hand? And again, I'm not trying to frighten anyone, but that could happen in this day and age. So Envision developed these glasses, and you know, I'll just quickly say briefly from a user's perspective, they are probably one of the greatest things I have ever bought in my life. I have never felt so independent using this wearable technology. You know, that they're designed to be worn all day if needed. And at times I actually forget I'm wearing them. So that should hopefully give people an idea of how light they are. And they just feel like a normal pair of glasses, and they look quite stylish apparently as well. I can't comment because I have no sight, but apparently they look really, really stylish as well. And in terms of the battery life, from my testing so far, or my usage of them, you have probably well over 6 hours of battery life if you were to continuously have them awake and be using them. But they will last much longer if you put them into a sleep mode. I think we maybe missed that feature. So they do have a sleep mode as well. So you don't need to keep turning them on and off. They're ready to go when you need them, to be honest with you. And the features at the moment I find most useful are the OCR. So that's, you know, text recognition features. I can honestly say it's the best device I have ever used for identifying items, such as everything from cereal packaging and boxes. I've used it to read confidential documents independently as well, such as letters from the hospital, as Karl mentioned there. And the thing that really tickled me with it was the handwriting recognition feature. I'm not sorry, Karl, I'm not sure if you missed that one or not. I've maybe missed it, but they will read handwriting as well. And this really came in handy because I used it to read a handwritten Christmas card I received from a neighbour recently for the first time ever. So, I would usually just be opening the Christmas card up, taking it down to my mum, and she would read it for me. And it's as I said in the newsletter recently, it's probably quite trivial, but when I used it to read this Christmas card, I thought to myself, nah, that there's no way this is going to work. And it did. It read it absolutely perfectly. And I took it down to my dad and says, "Oh yeah, Dad, got a Christmas card from Jeanette and John here." And he was just astounded with how it actually all worked. And the feature that I also use most regularly, and this is exclusive, as I said, to the Envision Glasses, as I say, using it a lot on a regular basis, is the video feature, the video calling feature. And this feature for me is what sets these glasses apart from any other wearable technology on the market. And the main reason really to use the video calling feature is I find if the AI doesn't work for you, so any of those features Karl demonstrated earlier, if they don't work for you, then you have the option of a trusted sighted friend, family member, dare I say even possibly a carer as well, to help you out and give you sighted assistance. And really, to be frank, I think the only thing that limits you with this video calling feature is your imagination. So I think you can tell I'm blown away by it because, you obviously you have someone sighted who can see through the camera of your glasses on their own smartphone. So to give some user examples, I used it recently. I called my sister who lives quite a long way away from me. She's in Edinburgh and I'm in Fife. And she could see everything through the camera of my glasses, whatever I was looking at, for want of a better, the direction my glasses were pointing in. And between us, we managed to organise every tin in my cupboard. So thankfully, I now know if I'm getting tomato soup or Heinz's spaghetti, so it's quite, again, it's just a completely life-changing experience. And I also used it again to call a trusted contact. It was actually my sister again, because JAWS had actually died on my work's laptop. So again, I called my sister using the glasses and she was able to see the screen of my computer or direct me, to point my head to the screen. And she was able to tell me that at the time, it was our IT people who were installing updates onto the system and it completely crashed JAWS. And if I didn't have the glasses on, I would have found it much more difficult to find out what was going on. But thanks to my sister, I knew I just had to wait on the updates being installed, and lo and behold, then JAWS started working again as normal. So there's a couple of good examples. And as I say, the only thing that limits you is your imagination. And just to finish on this point, on the video calling part, when things calm down a bit and I get back to a bit more normality and using public transport and out and about more, you can actually use this and get sighted assistance whenever you're stuck. So as Karl says, whenever you're lost, you might want to use it to help you cross a road in certain circumstances, because you could be looking right and left and the person at the other end would be able to tell you if there was any traffic on the horizon. Other things I'm hoping to use it for and test is I used to have real problems getting on the bus because I never knew which number of bus was coming. And hope there's no bus drivers listening, but they're never on time. So they're either late or early. So, I'd step out and then I'd get on the wrong bus and I'd have to get off. And then my bus, of course, has whizzed past in the meantime. So having someone sighted on the camera, seeing through the camera of my glasses to hopefully be able to identify the buses as they're coming towards me. Right, yep, Stuart, that's the number 19 bus, step out now. So I think these are going to be, the potential is huge. And then, when you're on a bus, another issue I had problems with using my guide dog was finding a seat. So then there's another example, you're on the bus, my mum, my dad, my sister, they're all my trusted contacts. They know what I struggle with, so they can direct me to an empty seat. and even maybe something, and unfortunately in these times, social distancing, when in a shop, you know, if there's too many people in front of you or you're too close, you've got, you know, a trusted colleague or friend in your ear who can tell you to stop and wait your turn. So I think this really, the video calling is limitless. The potential here is limitless. So that's the main user experience I have. The only other one is, and it's just again, probably quite a trivial thing. If I'm walking with my guide dog, I can be in the park, for example, and I just use the scene description feature to tell me what's going on round about me. So if I take a picture of whatever's in front of me, it told me the other day that there was a bench next to a tree. And I thought, oh, that's really, really cool. I've been coming to this park for 18 years and I didn't know there was a bench there because I'm usually alone, you know, with my guide dog. So it's just great that, again, possibilities are endless, and you know the Envision company, they are just getting started. So that's a quick overview of my user experiences, and I'll pass you back to Sight and Sound.
Okay, thanks, Stuart. I think it's really interesting to hear actually not just how you're using it now, but the way you're thinking of the potential for when we all come out of, when we can get out and about again after the current restrictions are lifted, and to be able to maybe use it to get assistance, as you said, if you're stuck on public transport, or maybe you're left waiting in an airport and the assistance doesn't come back, that you can call someone up. So sounds great. Let's, Sharon, I'm sure we have lots of questions and hands raised.
Oh gosh.
Can we just do a disclaimer first? We're not paying Stuart for this. Mr. Beveridge is here of his own free will and is a genuine customer of Envision. He hasn't been supplied these by us. He bought them direct from the guys prior to us actually getting them. So he's had a lot more time to play around with them. And as you can hear, he sounds like one heck of a happy customer.
Yeah, and it's great.
Money I've ever spent, and Envision aren't paying me either, by the way. I'll just add that in as well.
No brown envelopes, Stuart, no. Yeah. Okay, let's go over and have a look at the questions then, Sharon. I know there's lots of people wanting to get in, and if we can just ask for people who are asking questions, if you can keep your question as quick and as concise as possible, it'll mean that we get through as many people as we can, because I know there's lots of interest in this device.
Okay, we have about 5 people with their hands up here. Should we go there first?
Let's go for that. Okay.
And we have a phone number, so I'm not sure who this is, but if I give you access, you were the first to put your hand up, I think. We'll see how it goes.
And if you're on the phone, I think you may need to unmute yourself. I do believe it's *9 if you're asked to unmute.
Yeah.
Hello from Sweden. This is George Seinun from Sweden.
Hello.
Hi, Sweden.
Yeah, I hope you are getting me, and I'm sure you are.
Yes.
My question is about the call feature, the Ally. I am a user of these glasses, and I bought them from the people, the Envision people, and I'm using them. Everything is working well, even I have internet connection, but the call feature is not working at all. It is claiming that I don't have internet connection, although I sent a request to a friend and she accepted it, and she got me in her telephone and she downloaded the application and everything. But when I press the call feature, like you did with this user, Tony something, I forgot the name, it directly tells me you don't have internet connection.
That may be something that you need to take up directly with Envision. It's difficult for us to manage a tech support when we've not had any direct contact, because they'll need a serial number of the device, and if they sold it direct to you. Have you tried to contact them?
Not yet. I wanted to ask to see if I am giving it internet connection from the iPhone itself. I wonder if you are giving it internet connection from the iPhone.
That one would have been coming from my Wi-Fi, but I have tried it out and about, and it had no issue with using the standard 4G signal that was coming off my iPhone.
Like a hotspot kind of thing.
Yeah,
I tried
just
it.
using, yeah.
I'm using it as a hotspot, and I am having my telephone in my pocket, and it is claiming that I don't have internet connection, although the scan feature, which requires internet connection, is working fine. And if I double tap on home, it tells me it is connected to my iPhone 10s Max. So I know there is internet in it.
That's the same phone I have as well, so I know there's no issues. It definitely seems like you need to go through to
your best to contact them directly.
Yeah, because everything else is working, but that's a bit strange. Yeah.
Get in touch with Envision or your dealer.
Okay, then we turn to them. Thank you.
Thank you,
You're
George.
very welcome. Thank you.
The document feature working, George, on your glasses. You know, if you scan an actual document, because I know that definitely does require an internet connection. Is that working?
Yes, I am able to scan. The direct scan is working, which does not need internet connection. The scan feature is working fine. And it is using the internet connection, and I have tested it without internet connection, and it said you need internet connection for this to work.
Yeah, you tested it quite well then.
Yeah, you've done all the right things. I'd say definitely get in touch with them.
One other thing before you contact Envision, go into your settings. I'm sure you've done this. Just make sure that the software that you have on the Envision glasses is bang up to date, because since I bought them in November, there have been 2 additional software updates. I'm sure you've done that already.
You mean to the December update?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Because I got Arabic in it and Swedish. They didn't have Swedish, and first they added Arabic for me, and I got the Arabic earlier than other people. Then I got Swedish when they released Swedish. So it is updated actually to the latest.
Perfect. You've done everything you can then.
Yes, I have done.
Okay. It just seems like it is missing a connection, obviously, then when you try.
Yeah.
As soon as I press call, it says you don't have any internet connection, and it doesn't list names like in your device.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely missing something. It's either that or it going, well, no, because it won't be anything to do with the other end of who you're trying to contact. It must just be coming down to...
I am not having a chance to see the person who I want to call. And in the telephone, I see the name of the person. In the telephone, if I go in the application on the iPhone, I see her name.
Oh, so on the Envision app, it's there?
Yes, on the Envision app is there, and she sat next to me in the sofa here. And when we sent her the request and everything, and she got it, and she was added, and everything is okay.
Can you use the app can you use the Call Ally from your app?
No.
It is literally just from the glasses, isn't it?
Yeah, not from the glasses, not from the app on the iPhone. I cannot use the call feature from the iPhone either.
Okay. Definitely get in touch with the guys at Envision, and I'm sure they'll sort it out for you in no time at all.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry to take time.
Thanks, George.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. Next we have Lisa Redford. So I'll give you the mic.
One of our contestants from the quiz.
Yes.
Great to see you back, Lisa.
You can unmute yourself there now, Lisa.
You might just have to press a button on your end for Zoom to unmute your mic.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yay.
Great. Excellent. Hi. Yeah, it's the call feature. How do you actually call these people with the glasses?
It's set up within the system. So basically what you do is you want to add an ally. So all you do is either through the app basically on the phone or on the computer, you can send them an email.
Yeah.
They then download the Envision Ally app.
Yeah.
So they then have an app that corresponds with what you're trying to do. And then what it'll do is, as you heard when I went into mine, it said Tony Shrub, but mine has him saved as an email address. You can change it and have it just their names written there. So basically, all you do is you'll literally click it. If he wants to speak to me, which clearly Tony didn't, I caught him completely unawares. It'll basically ring their phone through the app and say that you want to speak to them. So then they'll just answer it as a normal app call, and then you have the chance to go through that way, and then you're talking to them.
Right, okay. And you can have more than one number stored on there, can you?
You can have as many as you want.
Yep.
Right, that's brilliant. And my other little question is actually, how much do these retail at? Which you'll probably tell us anyway.
They RRP is sterling 2,695, and it's just short of €3,000.
Right, excellent. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lisa. Okay.
Lisa's in the busy office again.
She is, yeah.
Yeah.
We have another question from Noma in Cork. So
great to see Noma.
Noma, I'll give you the mic there if you want to unmute yourself. Hi, Noma.
Noma, you should be able to unmute, hopefully.
There we go.
Oh, there we go.
Hi, Noma.
Hi,
Hi.
I'm just wondering about the glasses. Would anybody who has very limited vision be able to use them?
Stuart's, Mr. Beveridge is blind.
Oh,
So they're designed for people with no vision. Don't get me wrong, if you have a little bit of vision or even severely dyslexic and stuff like that, they can be of a help. But they are designed for severely low impaired and blind people.
Yep, so I'll just quickly come in on this as well. Just let me be clear that everything on the glasses, you will have audio feedback, you know, so that they are designed, everything is done through audio. So you have a small speaker that just sits behind your right ear, and that's where all the information comes through. So maybe for those who are, you know, putting their hopes on this small digital prism that Karl was mentioning earlier on with the display, if you like, I would say to you, don't buy these glasses thinking that they're going to have a lot of magnification or, you know, the screen is the be all and end all. It's really not. I think it's just been put in there as a secondary option. So the main reason you would want to, the main way to work with these glasses is to listen to the audio feedback.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that okay, Noma?
yeah, that's okay, because I was just wondering whether they were working for people who have some usable vision. But then I can see that you can use the glasses even if you don't have vision at all, which is good.
That's great. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Noma.
Thanks,
you.
Noma. Okay. We have Peter Hodgkinson. If you want to ask your question, unmute yourself and ask your question there, Peter.
Tap the Zoom button, I think, to unmute yourself.
Also to say that came up on chat as well. People asking like, can you use it if you have no vision at all? And yes, that is what it's designed for. Are you there, Peter?
Let's move on to the next one.
We'll come back to Peter.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll come back to you, Peter,
on.
later on.
Okay, we have Joseph Vella. There we go, Joseph. If you want to unmute yourself and ask your question.
Oh, Foundation for Information Technology Accessibility.
Sounds good.
Hi, Joseph.
Hello, Joseph. You just need to tick the unmute button on Zoom.
Or Alt-A.
Zoom is doing all these funny things now where we can't unmute people automatically. So unfortunately, will we come back to Joseph?
We can come
Yeah,
back to
In that
we'll come
Joseph.
to
way,
Joseph as well.
We'll come back to you, Joseph.
Yep. Steve Keith, we have here. Steve Keith, if you want to mute yourself and ask your question.
There we go.
Yay.
Hi, Steve.
I thought it was
I've got
broken.
something right.
Bingo.
I've got something right. When I'm out and about, I use Google Maps and Soundscape fairly regularly. Can the glasses be used in partnership with that, or would I need a separate earpiece for the glasses? One for the Google Soundscape and one for the glasses?
That's a very good question.
At the moment,
It's a great question.
At the moment, that won't work with the glasses, Steve. At the moment, you would need to really keep using your phone and a separate earpiece with Soundscape at the moment. There is currently, though, I was going to come on to this a bit later on, but since you've asked the question, I know that there is currently the Envision company are working with an actual app developer, a navigation app developer. So hopefully in the future, not anytime soon, but in the future, hopefully there will be some kind of navigation aid, turn-by-turn navigation built into the glasses themselves. But at the moment, unfortunately, they don't work with Soundscape.
Okay, thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you, Steve.
Thanks, Steve.
Excellent.
Sharon, do you want to do some questions out of the chat box?
The chat, yeah. There's kind of been some discussion and answering each other's questions here, which is great. Things like, does the ally have to be in the same country? No, they just need to be on the internet.
And that's the best thing about that, because you're not connecting directly through a phone number, you're connecting through the email address. So it literally doesn't matter where on the planet they are. It's not going to cost you any money to call them. All it is doing is calling through your Wi-Fi or your 4G if you're out and about. So there's no extra cost for usage. It's just a standard internet call.
And you don't need Skype or FaceTime or anything. It's all through that app, isn't it? It's all
Yeah.
supported through that app.
Yeah, if you just wanted to chat with someone.
We talked about battery life, didn't we, and charge time?
Yeah.
And
charge time. Sorry, Sharon. I should have said they use a USB-C charger and a USB-C charging port. So, if you have a up-to-date smartphone, for example, you'll have I'm sure you'll have a USB cable lying around. There's a cable provided anyway. So they fast charge. So if your battery, you'll get a warning when your battery goes below 20% and then 10%, etc. I would charge it after it goes below 20. And it's usually, in my experience, it's just over an hour. And then it'll shout at the glasses will shout at you again when, yep, we're at 100%, take us off charge. And again, there's no reason why you can't have one of these, these portable chargers. I don't know much about these. I don't have one, but the USB-C battery packs that you can take around with you. So again, you could have these as well, and you've got a charger wherever you need with the glasses.
Brilliant. Thank you.
I did try, we were talking about languages, and I did try to find the list of these 60 languages. And a couple of people have asked, does it read Irish?
I would think, Stuart may know this, but I'm inclined to think it doesn't
at the moment.
But it's something that we will feed back to Envision.
They seem to be quite active on the languages thing. So
I don't think it reads Irish or Welsh or Gaelic yet, anything like that.
Yet.
So we'll definitely look at feeding that back to them, because I think it's a good question.
If there's a demand, I'm sure they will fulfill it.
I'd say they would. And just on asking, have you tried it in the street to recognize shops and offices and street names and stuff? Have you tried it at all, Stuart? Just
It
to,
works. Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, the video calling is more reliable. I know I'm going on about this video calling, but it really is life changing. So, you know, because I could be, because I don't have any sight at all, sometimes it's quite difficult to actually snap what's around you,
yeah,
especially if you're moving and things. But again, if you have someone sighted on the other end, they can direct you where to, you know, point your head, and things like that as well. So. Yes, it definitely does work. And if you're out and about, I mean, as Karl has already said, we could connect it up to your hotspot, you know, your personal hotspot feature on your smartphone, and then you can have the glasses with you and use them anywhere you want. But it does work. Yeah,
it does work. I guess you could, yeah, if you knew, if you were looking in the right direction, it would read whatever text it could find anyway. But it's not very, it's not easy to make sure you're looking at what you want to find out. Yeah.
Yeah, but then again, if as the lady said it, you know, if you do have maybe some usable vision, then there's no reason why you can't use the instant
That would
text
work,
feature,
yeah.
use the AI instead of the video calling.
And for buses and things, you know, yeah.
It should do, yeah.
Okay, what else do we have? Can you use it without a smartphone? That's a interesting one.
Well, interestingly, yes. So that you would need the smartphone to actually pair the glasses with your account. So you do need the app on your smartphone, the Envision AI app, to start with to get the glasses paired. But then what you can do, I now, because I've actually got my glasses connected to, like, you know, my mum's Wi-Fi and things like that, I could go to my mum's house without my phone, and I could still use the glasses when I'm in my mum's house, because there is a way to connect the Envision glasses to people's Wi-Fi via a QR code as well. So that there's just another little feature. You know, they can be used with a QR code to connect to other Wi-Fi or hotspots, etc.
But without being connected to any form of 4G or Wi-Fi, you will only get the quick text function.
You'll get the quick text. I think you should also get some other features such as the color identification feature.
Oh, the color checker will work, yeah, because that's all stored into the device.
And I think the find objects feature might, I've tried this and it should work as well.
But for obviously all the advanced features like scene and everything else and call ally and everything, it does need a full connection to be able to get through to that.
Yeah. So document scanning, batch scan, yeah, as Karl said, you know, the scene description and, you know, definitely the video calling feature would definitely need internet at this stage.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. There's a few questions just about how they're connected to glasses or how they feel, or maybe we could just describe them, because maybe if people are familiar with the OrCam, I know, Stuart, you said that you forget they're on.
Yeah, I'm trying not to say too much, but yeah. So I don't know whether Karl, do we need to mention that there's actually two different frame types? Would you happy to speaking about that first, just to let people know that there are two different purchase options?
Basically, if you are low vision, and to be fair, you'd only really want this option if you were using lenses. You can get a full glass fitting that can come with prescription lenses in it. I suppose also this could be those, oh my God, light changing glasses as well. So if you needed the lenses that are light reactive, you could have them fitted as a prescription lens, and the body of the device is like a normal pair of glasses. Then this device, I'm going to let Stuart explain to you, because obviously with him wearing it and using it all the time, and coming from a blind person point of view, you're going to get more of an idea of how it feels and how it fits.
Yeah, so as I said, they feel like a traditional pair of glasses, and it's the right arm of the glasses where all the magic happens, if you like. Think of the right arm side of the glasses as the nerve center, as the control center. So going from the front, just I'll quickly say, you know, the rest of the glasses, they'll just sit on your head as normal, you know, that there's no discomfort, and don't worry about anything on the left arm, you know, don't worry about really anything in the front of the glasses where the lenses are. They don't really do anything. It's the right arm, as I say, where all the controls and all the magic happens. So on the front of the glasses, above the right lens, so it's just in front of your right eye, is the small prism that Karl was mentioning earlier on. So that's where people can see the display if they have any useful vision. And then to the right of the display, you'll feel a very, very small indented circle. And again, obviously, this is on the front of the device because it's the camera, which obviously needs to point wherever your head goes. And then if you go further back on the right-hand side, so the right arm now, if you're touching the right arm and go a bit further back, right next to your temple, in my case, there is an area there where the touchpad is. Now, the touchpad is not tactile, so that might take a bit of getting used to. But anyone who, you know, uses a smartphone with voiceover or talkback on it, etc., I mean, you'll manage this touchpad and gestures within, you know, about 10 minutes. You know what? That's very, very similar to using voiceover or talkback in terms of gestures. And again, as Karl rightly said, the tutorial, when you first get the glasses, will get you used to it. So using the touchpad and locating it might take a bit of practice, but you know, you will get there with that. And then if we go further back, just behind your right ear is the speaker, and the right arm does get a bit thicker at this point, just ever so slightly thicker, because this is where the speaker is, which feeds audio directly into your right ear. And it's also where things like the processor and battery are housed as well. And then right at the very end of the arm, on the right arm on the glasses, is the USB-C charging port. And then on the inside of the glasses, of the arm, excuse me, on the glasses. So this is right next to my hairline, if you like, on my head. On the inside, you'll find a kind of circular button, which is your power button for turning the glasses on and off. And I don't think I've missed anything out. So there's a bit of a physical description, if that's helpful.
And you can swap it over to the left-hand side as well, is that right?
No,
no?
It's all on the right-hand side. The arms can't be swapped over at the moment, and that's where you know, that's not an Envision problem. You know, that's because they're actually using the Google Glass. So you know, they're actually, and Envision is actually just the app. It's just the software on a pair of smart glasses. So maybe as time goes on and new smart glasses become available on the market, I'm sure Envision will be testing their software out on these smart glasses. But for the moment, in the design of the Google Glass Enterprise Edition 2, it will have to be done on the actions are all through the right-hand side.
Okay, yeah, Karl was just putting the glasses on his camera there to try and show us what it looks like.
Just for anyone that does have vision, just to try and get a representation. There's hardly any weight to it. They reckon it weighs less than 50 grams. So it is exceptionally comfortable. The nose piece you can adjust. So if you've got the tiniest skinny nose to the broadest nose, it doesn't matter. They really do move. And it's like Stuart says, they are really comfortable, and you don't notice. You can walk around with them and you don't feel that you're wearing anything.
Yep, I mean, as I say, I have both. I prefer the Smith Optics frame, which are more like the traditional glasses. With, as Karl said, you know, you could change the lenses on them. I prefer using those ones instead of the lightweight titanium frame where there are no lenses. But again, no matter which option you use, they're both really, really lightweight and extremely comfortable and user friendly. Yeah.
Can you fit them over glasses, like existing
No.
glasses? No.
No, they need to.
They need to kind of be.
I wouldn't recommend doing that anyway. No.
It's the right arm, the power, the brains.
Yeah.
It would interfere too much because it has to sit on the top of your ear cleanly. It'd interfere too much with whatever arm there was on the other pair.
It's like me trying to put them on over my headset here. It wasn't really working very well.
You just end up making yourself look silly trying to do it. But
That's easily done, yeah.
It was worth it.
Okay, there was some discussion. Sorry, the chat's just is fantastic because there's people answering each other's questions, but there was some discussion on actually, if I can find it, about getting frames for your own lenses and some prices there.
I think Glenn's been answering him.
Yeah, thanks,
there
Glenn.
as well, sneakily.
Sneakily. There's a lot of raised hands still. If we want to go back to the raised hands,
I think we'll try and get back to some of the raised hands if we can.
Should we try Joseph again?
Okay.
If you're out there, Joseph.
Just to remind everybody, we thank everybody for raising their hands. If you can keep your question as quick as you can, we'll try and get through as many people in the next 20 or 25 minutes as we can.
So Joseph, if you wanted to try again, Joseph Feller, to unmute yourself and ask your question there, hopefully.
You just might need to hit your unmute button on Zoom. If that doesn't work, we might have to move on. We'll Joseph, if you want to put your message in the chat either, or if you want to drop an email afterwards. And if anyone, if we don't follow up with somebody in time, you can always send an email to sales@sightandsound.co.uk and mark it for the attention of Karl or Stuart, and one of us will pick it up.
Okay.
Probably Karl, because he knows more about this than I do.
Let's try Edward Green has his hand raised here. Edward, I'll allow you to talk there if you want to unmute yourself and ask your question.
All right.
Hi everyone, thanks very much.
Hey.
I just had a quick question about the beeps and the object finder and how sort of close to the object you have to be. Because Karl, I know in the scene thing it was picking up quite a lot. Will it only beep if you're quite close to the object? Because otherwise, you know, you might well know that the remote control's in the room, but just getting a beep without any voice guidance might not be that useful in practice.
I mean, it does have an 8 million megapixel camera, so it does have very good clarity and very good ability to pick up things. Obviously, with something like a remote, you're going to have to be within a few feet to know where it is. But I mean, with a mug or something like that, it will pick up from a good distance away. You don't have to be literally right on top of it for it to be reading out. I can stand one end of my lounge, which is like 7 meters long, and sit there and it'll pick up my TV sat in the corner. It'll pick the chair up. It'll pick the little coffee table. It'll pick up everything within a reason of how close, obviously, you are. You don't have to be right on top of it, I guess is what I'm saying, for it to actually pick up.
I'm just wondering how useful that might be if you can't see it all in practice then. Because you might know it's feet away. What you really want to know is where it is, you know, with some sort of, I don't know, directional beep or voice guidance or something to tell you that it's,
Well, the thing is, it will only pick up from central vision.
So okay.
Where your nose is pointing is basically where the camera's aiming. So if you're turning your head from side to side and it bleeps either left, right, middle, then it's giving you that first representation of where it is. Then you can walk a little bit closer, try it again, and it will give you I believe it. I mean, I've walked around the house with my eyes with a blindfold, a scarf wrapped around my head, and it's quite scary how good it is. It gave me confidence to let me know things were in the way. So I think its ability to tell you with that bleep that, I mean, it won't bleep randomly if you're looking left and it's in front of you. You do have to be quite accurate with your head positioning.
Yeah. Okay, brilliant. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then I suppose if you are out and about, or you do, as Karl, you demonstrated, you actually have the explore mode, which, as soon as you're scanning around, whatever the glasses see in terms of the camera, they will announce, couch, chair, table, etc. as well. So hopefully they've covered quite everything in a bit of detail there.
Yeah, it kind of has it both ways, isn't it?
Yeah,
So you can
that's
look
what I
for
was trying
something.
to say.
Yeah, you can look for something specific and it will beep, or you can just say, right, tell me what's there, Yeah. So you could try both. Thank you, Edward. Okay, Devaki. You have very long surname, Sivasubramaniam.
You pronounced that better than I did.
Devaki, if you want to unmute yourself and ask your question there.
Hello.
Hi.
One minute, let me switch off the voiceover. Yeah, actually, I missed first few minutes because I couldn't get connected. Anyway, see, I have that app downloaded on my phone, and I'm going to have the glasses on my head, okay, on my eyes. So now, somebody asked the question that whether they have to carry the phone. So for establishing the connection, we do have to have the phone. Then after that, even if we leave it and it's connected and work through the Wi-Fi, and there is no need for us to carry it all the time. But supposing I don't get anybody on the other end, and supposing I'm going out on my own, so if I put it on explore mode, I will be informed what all the objects I'm encountering on my way, isn't it? So I may be able to navigate that way, is it?
It should work offline, Devaki, yes. In my experience, it should work offline, the explore mode, yeah.
Okay, so because I'm leaving the phone at home and I'm just wearing the glasses, so the glasses go through my home Wi-Fi. And after that, what happens? Because if I'm out of range, see, if I'm carrying the mobile, I'll be on my mobile data. So that's fine. So how will the Wi-Fi work once if I leave home?
So as long as you have the glasses connected to your personal hotspot on your smartphone, then that should just piggyback straight across, and the glasses should work through the mobile data on your phone if you've got it connected
Okay,
correctly.
so I should carry the mobile with me anyway. So we should be able to...
Yes, I always, and I mean, to be honest with you, well, everybody listening probably knows themselves, my phone tends to go everywhere with me anyway, and I'm sure, I'm sure.
Yeah, usually we carry, but sometimes some areas we don't have a data. See, especially when we are going underground stations and all that, I will lose the mobile data. So that was my worry. Sometimes we do have assistance, but that's one question, and the other one is, see, if I put it, for example, I'm going and I don't know whether I gone past the train station. In my home, I will know roughly where I am. I have a little bit of sight. But if I'm in a new location and I do have to find the train station, can I put that on the reading mode, so that it will read whatever the station, underground station and all that? Would I be able to do that? Or, I know that I need the explore mode for finding my way and all that. But I supposing I have a doubt, okay, it looks like more or less a station. And so I want the glasses to read the station. See, if I turn my head towards facing the station, so will it say the station? It wouldn't be able to read. It only will identify the station if it is fed back into the system. They might have fed one picture, but not all stations will look alike, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think it would be able to, not yet anyway, I don't think it would be able to identify specific
text.
stations, you know, just by look. But, you know, if you do have some, you know, a wee bit of useful vision, Devaki, that I'm sorry, I haven't tried this, but I'm assuming that you could just point the glasses, your head at, you know, like the sign at the entrance of the train station. And if there's any text on there, if you have it in the instant text mode, then I see no reason why it shouldn't read, you know, Waverley train
I
station.
do have to, if I make on the explore mode, and then if I go and I feel, okay, this could be the stations, then I have to change the from the explore mode to the instant text mode.
I would,
Is that right?
yeah.
Okay. Okay then, yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
so the same way, supposing I'm looking for, another question is, supposing I have in mind I'm going to the Orgas, so can I put somewhere in the glasses or on my phone, okay, this is what I'm looking for, or say M&S. So if I already put it there, when I'm walking through, will the thing inform me, oh, this is your spot, M&S in front of you, or
I
something
see what
like
you mean.
Yeah.
So that's not really possible at the moment. I think that's maybe, and the guys at Sight and Sound might be able to correct me on this if I've got this wrong, but that's more like a kind of navigation feature there, Devaki. And I think at this moment in time, something like that isn't available through, you know, you'd need an actual GPS specific app more for that, something like Soundscape if you're using an iPhone. But again, as I say, it's being worked on. It's with a partner at the moment with Envision, so that might come eventually.
Okay, maybe in future, but at the moment, still I can change it to the reading mode, and then it will read it. Okay, lovely.
Definitely.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Okay,
Devaki. And I just think one of the other things, and Stuart has, as I suppose, kind of said it there as well, is that it is new technology. There's lots of potential, but I think it's a matter of just working out what bits will work with what at the moment, especially for people who are using lots of other bits of technology at the same time, as we all tend to do when we travel around. So thank you, Devaki, for that.
Thank you.
Devaki,
okay, we're going to keep moving.
Okay. Just to say on chat, there was also, I think I saw some questions on the app and the fact that the app is free with glasses. And the app is free with glasses, but if you have the app on its own without the glasses, there's a subscription that you have to pay. Can we just explain that one?
So there's an app. If you download the app, I believe €1.99 per month is the.
That's it. I couldn't remember.
So that's a subscription, and obviously, if you buy the glasses, you get the subscription to the app for life. I think, Stuart, is that?
Yeah, so I can't remember the price because I've actually obviously don't have these prices in front of me now, but I think you can have, if you don't have the glasses, the best thing to do is maybe try the app first and see what you think, you know, before you shell out a lot of money. But with the app, then there are 3 subscriptions. There is a monthly subscription, which I think, as Stuart rightly said, it's $1.99 a month. There is a yearly subscription. Now, again, I might have this wrong, but that's something like $13.99 a month. And then you have a lifetime subscription, which is a lot more. So, but if you were to get the glasses, then you would just automatically get a lifetime subscription included with the glasses.
And there is a 14-day free trial. So if you download the app, you can try it out anyway for free.
So you can try it out a bit like so it would be a bit like Seeing AI, would it be?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just to let you know that the subscriptions for Envision is a lot cheaper. It's £1.79 a month, or $19.99 a year.
Oh, right, okay.
It is really cheap for what it is. And what it can do for that kind of money as well is brilliant. It's dirt cheap.
maybe just worth saying as well that if this is something you guys are interested in, keep an eye out. You can subscribe to a newsletter on the Envision website as well, and keep an eye on, follow them on social media, because they are constantly, well, not constantly, but at least maybe once, twice a year, they have things like a summer sale, you know, and a Christmas offer and things. So I waited on the summer sale coming last year, and then I got a half price, you know, lifetime subscription. So I got about £40 off. So again, it's just worth saying, you know, keep a wee eye out for any offers that they might be doing as well.
Okay, great stuff, Stuart. It pays to keep an eagle eye on these things.
Yeah.
Okay, so we continue with the Q&A.
Yeah, we have lots of hands. Let's go to Kasia Kubasek. If you want to unmute yourself and ask your question, Kasia.
Hi, Kasia.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Hi, thank you for taking my question. It is relating to new features. So if someone buys a pair of glasses like now, and there are new features that come in a, I don't know, few months' time, like the one that Stuart Beveridge mentioned about the kind of like a GPS outdoors navigation. So will they be available for free, or someone will have to pay a small fee, or a certain fee, or how this would work? Because with updates, they may be the same features improved. Yeah, how this will work?
Yeah, so I'll take this first if you don't mind, and then I'll pass back to the guys at Sight and Sound. So the GPS one, you know, don't worry too much about that one, because I think that's going to be quite a while away, and because it's, you know, like another developer coming on board, I do wonder whether there might be a separate subscription there. But anything with Envision, with the glasses, you have 2 years free of, you know, software updates. So anything they do, if for the first 2 years of your purchase, after you've purchased them, the updates are free. After that, you know, because they're a business, there will probably be some sort of, you know, subscription, you know, that you have to maybe pay up every year. I can't see it being anything huge, but, you know, to be honest with you, Cassie, if these glasses are going to stay around for a long, long time, I would rather pay a small subscription after the 2 free years, rather than, you know, pay another, you know, £2,500 for a new device. So that's the way they're working at the moment. And in terms of the price for the subscriptions, I mean, these glasses are just launched, so that's still something that's being worked on. But does that answer?
Yes. So what I'm holding, my phone is talking back to me. Because the features which I'm longing for is the one that Envision are working with another business mainly. But thank you very much. Yes, you did answer my question. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks, Cassia.
Thank you very much.
Great. Jamie, we have Jamie Marshall here. Oh, sorry, I just clicked. Things changed underneath my mouse, and Arthur Aston, you're up. Sorry, Jamie, we'll come back to you in a minute. Arthur, hi. Hello. Yes.
Hi, Arthur.
Yeah. Good afternoon. Thanks. That was brilliant. Very, very interesting. I've got no sight at all. So it sounds very good to me in terms of independence, getting out and about. Could I just ask two very quick questions? The first one relates to the Bluetooth connectivity, really, I suppose. I use iPod Pro
Apple AirPods.
Yeah, AirPods. Yeah. Thank you, AirPods. No, but of course, I believe that my phone will only connect to one Bluetooth device at a time. I'm just trying to get my head round, if I've got my phone connected to the Envision, yeah, then there's no scope really to connect any earbuds or anything else on a Bluetooth connection, is there? Or
the phone's, it's only using it for the data. You're not taking away the Bluetooth connection. The Bluetooth connection is for headphones.
Right.
or
So
speakers.
I can use my iPods perfectly well together with my iPhone and the connection to the Envision glasses.
Well, you'll only have it on one or the other. The AirPods will either be connected to the Envision or your phone. You can't then have your phone and AirPods connected at the same time. So it'll have to be either you're using your AirPods through the Bluetooth, because obviously the Envision glasses has its own Bluetooth. So you can either have the AirPods connected to the Envision device or your actual iPhone.
Right, but one way or the other, I can get the three things working.
Oh yeah, not a problem. Yeah,
100%, Arthur, because I've tried it and it works. So hopefully
well, you'll understand. You'll understand. You know, my reason for asking, because
yes, of course.
You know, it's a tremendous. I find it's a tremendous advantage to have the iPods working because. Well, especially because I can hear the background traffic noise as well as hearing clearly the instructions that are coming from my device, whatever the app is. The other one is to do with the actual operation. Are the various functions or settings, such as the object recognition or text recognition, are these independent of each other, and you've got to change the setting when you want to move from one to another, or do they work together? For example, if it's just a quick text setting, can I have it so that I can be identifying objects, or it'll detect text and give me a quick read if I focus on that?
they're all independent.
Right. But
so you do have to switch. Yeah, it's like trying to send a text and make a phone call at the same time from your phone.
I thought that might be the case, but I assume therefore that it's pretty easy and quick, is it, to use the control?
Just swiping backwards and forwards and up and down. Yeah, it's dead easy
it's a swipe motion, is it? Just like your screen.
Yeah, it's just a touch bar. Yeah, all it is a touch bar on the side.
Brilliant. So the main thing is really I can put my phone away safely and walk around without risk of anybody grabbing my phone and running away with it.
That's the point.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you very much indeed.
You're very welcome.
All right,
Thanks,
Arthur.
Arthur.
Good to talk to you.
Okay. Now, Jamie, let's see if I can give Jamie Marshall.
And thanks to everyone who's remaining with their hands up. We are getting through as quick as we can. We do want to make sure people get to ask their questions. So
Hi there.
Sorry, Jamie.
Hi, Jamie.
Hi there. How are you doing?
Hi.
Amazing piece of tech, but I had a question. So my question is, walking down the street, does it recognize, like, you know, your bins and things like that? Yeah, you were saying like you do the find for the object. So it could say, because I've got these big bins outside on the ones up in your chest.
Bins. Yeah, it'll pick them up. It won't obviously differentiate between, but then again, saying that, if you've got coloured bins, then you can use the colour checker and it'll tell you what the colour is as well. So you don't mess up your recycling with your natural normal waste.
Okay, and if you're doing that, can you make it identify objects? Is it only a database of what the company's got on objects, or can I, if I've got an object like I've got I don't know, like a children's toy that's not on the database, could I like program it and recognize that and name it?
Yeah. So at the moment, no, it's only, so you can't teach it specific objects. I think that's what you're asking there, Jamie.
Yeah, that's right. Yes,
so
that's
at the moment, no, but the objective, the overall objective of Envision going forward is to have this feature available on both the app and the glasses. But I'm afraid at the moment, no.
Okay, that's good. And the other question as well, as I heard when you're testing it, it was going bing, bing when it was finding an object, right? That was really awesome. But like, can it be done maybe just now or later down? Could the sounds be different for a different object? If I was using like the Explorer thing and I'm walking down the street, could it make like a different ping for like a lamppost and a different ping for if it's picking up a bin?
It's all set down to one tone at the moment.
So it's one tone at the moment, right?
It sounds like a good feature request, though.
It doesn't mean that they won't change it, and all this feedback is good for them, because don't get me wrong, for it to just start to put in loads of different tones for different things, I think your head might get puddled as well.
Yeah, loads,
trying to
but 2 or
pay
3 could be
attention.
great. You would
exactly,
understand 2 or 3 or 3 or 4. Yeah, it would be brilliant. All right, well, that's everything, but it's an amazing piece of tech. Thank you very much.
Brilliant.
Thanks,
Thank you, Jamie.
Thanks, Jamie. Thanks for your question.
And that just reminds me of another question on the chat was, can you change the voice at all?
I think at the moment it's programmed to the Google, you know, language, the American voice.
Yeah,
I think. So while you can change the actual language, at the moment there's not you know, a barrel load or actually any other TTS voices as far as I've tested. In fact, I think Karl, have you tried that as well?
As far as I'm aware at the minute, I know you can. I've just gone into the app, so I'm assuming, because it has Daniel and
right.
Samantha and everyone in the voices.
Everyone.
Yeah,
so that's the app on the phone. I need to find out actually, because I all I did was messed about with the phone. I didn't even think about the actual unit. We can get back to you on that, because I have a strange feeling that as soon as you change it on the phone, that it may, he says, famous last words.
Oh, it might sync to the class. Okay.
I'm not sure it will, and sorry, the only reason I'm saying that is because Envision actually had to build their own version of talkback or voiceover. They had to build their own screen reader in, because remember, this is Google Glass, you know, that this is something independent from them, if you like, and there was no accessibility on the Google Glass system, Android operating system at all. So I think you're going to have to go with what's on the built-in screen reader from Envision and the glasses at
on the actual
moment.
glasses. Yeah.
You are correct. I've just had a quick go. It is literally just using, because obviously the processor in your phone, it has a lot more things that it can call on, because it will be using the voices that are built into the smartphone that you're using anyway. So that's why you can change those. But to be honest with you, I don't see why they can't add other language
voices,
or an
English
accent rather than an American one,
potentially,
or Scottish, or Irish, or Welsh,
indeed,
or Northern Irish. Sorry, don't want to forget those. I apologise.
I can't remember who asked that question, but that's a good question. Okay. So should we go for another question?
Yeah, go on. Let's keep them rolling for a minute.
Okay, so Rob Powell, you're up next. So Rob, if you want to unmute.
Hi, I think that's worked.
Yes,
Hi.
it has.
Brilliant product, it sounds great. I read somewhere, and I've been, since I found out about the webinar, I've been reading all sorts of stuff on the web about these glasses since yesterday, that it has a barcode reader, but you haven't mentioned that. Does it?
I actually don't think it does, unless it's picking, the way I do it at the moment is actually get it to identify the actual text on the product, because unlike you, Rob, I read that somewhere as well, and then I scanned the glasses thoroughly, and at the moment, as far as I can tell, it doesn't have a barcode reader.
On the app, it does.
On the app, it does.
Yeah.
That's where it is.
So that's where it may have got a bit of a crossover. Obviously, when it's using your phone, there is a lot more that it's going to have power to do, because it's using the processor that's built into the handset. But at the moment, through the phone, yes. Through the app, yes. Through the actual glasses themselves, no.
Okay.
Doesn't mean they won't, but whether there's a big enough need. I know, obviously, barcodes do hold a lot of information.
Yeah, I was thinking of like, you know, your clothes and that. You could scan the barcode and it could tell you, you know, wash this on 60 degrees.
I don't know how much information they go into. I know on food.
No, they do have that much on the barcodes.
Yeah. I know on food it has cooking instructions, calorie content, allergy information, and everything.
That's what that's why I'd want it. Also, I'm a bit worried because I saw a YouTube video last week that said that Google has completely ditched Google Glass and that it isn't developing it anymore and so on and so forth. Are we going to be in a situation that we've been in with products before where the operating system is phased out and therefore is no longer mainstream, and therefore, you know, we're stuck in a blind alley, so to speak, in terms of development and so on?
To be honest with you, they phased the last version out as well. So it's that their first original Google Glasses got kiboshed. So I'm not, to be honest with you, these guys at Envision, a lot of it that's on there now is being generated through them. They're working with other people, other developers, to develop different software that goes on the device. The thing that the Google side is using is for the scenery and the product and the item recognition.
The functionality.
Yeah, the functionality. Yeah. That will stay there regardless, because that'll be a backbone of the unit. So I can't see how they will stop the manufacture or stop the development, or even if they do, what they'll do is that, because I'm sure there'll be more companies other than Envision that will want to get their hands on the actual glasses, which means there will be more people developing them and replicating them anyway.
And may I ask one more quick question, please?
Certainly.
I run a magazine, an audio magazine for blind and partially sighted people. We send it out to around 250 people. I was going to ask Stuart Beveridge. Stuart, would you be prepared to do an interview with us for the magazine, maybe over Zoom? Apart from the fact that you've got the most wonderful voice in the world, and I could listen to you reading the phone book forever. I just think
that's one way to get him to do the interview. That's a great.
I would just like to have a visually impaired user do it, because I'm not being rude to any of you guys, but because I think it means more. And Stuart, I wondered if you'd be prepared to do it.
Yes.
What's the finder's fee for Stuart Beveridge? What kickback do we get for Stuart?
Well, I might buy a set off you guys.
He's priceless, you know.
That's good enough. That's good enough for me.
I didn't say would. I said might. That will depend on whether my wife's in a good mood or not.
Sold pending purchase.
Sold pending my wife.
Pending agreement of your wife.
Yeah. Sold pending the boss's permission.
So can one of you or Stuart, or how can I get Stuart's email?
If you, Rob, if you send I'm the other Stuart. If you send an email to me, I'll put you in touch with Stuart Beveridge.
Thanks, Stuart.
And what's the name of your audio magazine?
It's called the Jubilee Magazine.
The Jubilee.
Okay. And we do all sorts of stuff, technology and stuff about radio. We put documentaries, sometimes old documentaries on. We put people's messages and talkbacks, and we try and help each other.
Okay, send us a link for it, and we'll put it up on our social media and give you guys a bit of a plug.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Rob. Let's see, can we get a few more questions in? We're gonna try and finish before 4 o'clock, just so everyone knows, because this is a very great session, but I know people have a lot of time.
So next up we have Roshin Dermody. So Roshin, if you would like to unmute yourself there. Roshin, can you unmute yourself?
You might press your mute, your...
There we go.
Am I done?
Yeah, we have you. We got you.
Jesus, that was tough.
Well done.
The glasses are easier.
I feel so accomplished. Okay, my question is in relation to Stuart was talking earlier on about using the call feature to identify bus numbers, but I'm wondering, does the camera, the text reader on the glasses, would that not read the text of the number of the bus, or is the bus moving too fast for the camera to focus?
I would wonder if it would be moving too fast for it to focus. The problem is, Roshin, I've just not got the opportunity to test this myself at the moment because of the way things are, unfortunately. I would assume that the bus would be moving too fast, because when I'm using the instant text or the document text, I really do have to keep the text stationary. So that the more stationary the text is, the better. But there's no reason why I can't test it. And again, for me, with having no vision, it might be difficult anyway, because I wouldn't know if my head was pointing in the direction of I would know where the bus was, but I wouldn't know if it was accurately pointing at the number, if that makes sense. So
it's like Devaki and the train station. You know, if you kind of point in the right direction and use instant text, hopefully it will just pick up whatever text it sees, but that text has to be not moving.
yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out, whether it I'm thinking of Dublin traffic during rush hour. It's
nothing's moving.
Fairly fucking slow.
Yeah, it'd be all stationary.
No problem. Just got to point in the right direction and it'll tell you
exactly. I'm
everything.
Just thinking, you know, back in the day when we were all getting buses and stuff, you know, and people would say to me, "Oh, love, such and such, you know, like the number 39A is on its way," and I'm like, "Well, where is it?" And it's like 10 minutes later and the bus still hasn't reached the bus stop. So clearly it's not moving that fast.
It's the age-old buses. Oh.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Roshin. So next we have Elsbeth Pierce.
I think we have about 6 people hand raised. So if we can try and get, if everyone can try and, we can try and get everyone's question in a minute and a half, we'll try and get, we'll hopefully
Before
get to
the
everyone.
end. Yeah.
I'll go into speed mode.
I'm too nice.
You are far too nice.
Carl just jumps in there and
Sharon just wants to carry on chatting, and that's it now.
That's about it.
Cut him.
Elsbeth.
No.
If you want to, no.
No, next.
Okay, we're Carl's.
We're in speed question now.
Right. Okay, I've been told. David Stevenson.
There we go.
Whoa. Well done.
All yours, David.
And by the way, I'm just going to say, sorry, David, just because it might help speed this up. We're going to go to Dave Ryan after that. So Dave Ryan, if you're ready, we'll go to you afterwards.
Happy New Year to you all.
Happy New Year.
And this question is for Scottish Stuart, but I don't want to leave Irish Stuart felt out, so he might want to comment on it as well.
Oh, don't worry.
As we're totally blind people and we rely on our echolocation, have you had any problems with using the app where you're used to using your own ears as well?
Right, Scottish Stuart, I can't answer this one.
So in terms of the app, then and not the glasses, if you stick to the app, then it really does all depend on, as you say, Dave, where you are and you know what noise is around about you, or you know what traffic's you know going on round about you. So in that situation, then maybe something like a good AirPods Pro earpiece or something would be the answer there. In terms of the glasses, I think it might be the same sort of thing, to be honest with you. You could try it, but what I usually do is have a pair of my earphones or my AirPods Pro on standby. So if I am in any difficulties, I could just put one of them in, and that solves the problem there.
Yeah, fine. Okay, thank you.
All right, David, thanks
David.
Emil. So we're going to go to Dave Ryan, and then
Ryan.
just to say that we have Bert, Foresta and Steve. Please stay where you are. We will guarantee we get to the 3 of you as well.
Okay.
Hi.
Hey.
From what I
Dave.
understand, there's 2 models of the glasses. Wire one, and is the other one like a wraparound?
No, the other one's a normal pair of specs.
No, pair of specs. The wire ones, they don't have a glass on the front.
There's no lenses in them at all. It's just a thin titanium.
I was just thinking for protection from the eyes, but yeah, no, that answers the question. Thanks very much.
You're very welcome.
Dave.
We like these kind of
Good
questions.
to hear you.
Thank you.
Okay.
You too.
Oh, sorry,
Bert.
Bert.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Hi,
Yes,
Bert.
we
How
got
are you?
Okay, great. So have you ever done some comparative tests with the Orcam? Because I have tested the Orcam once for a month, and I was very excited by the features, but actually it didn't work very well in real life. For example, to recognize a person, the leaflet says, well, you can recognize your boss if they walk past in the corridor. That's not really how it works. So it is not really a feature that really works in real life yet. So in terms of, and then of course, if you buy something that is so expensive, it needs to improve your productivity. So how does this compare to what exists and in terms of being quick at identifying things?
So will I come in again?
Yeah, go on.
Maybe
Please,
better.
Stuart, yeah.
So yeah, I use the Envision glasses every day now, Bert, as I said earlier, and as I said, you know, it's got the best OCR features. If you teach faces, for example, then you know it will pick them up as soon as the camera sees them. I think that the camera in it is second to none as well. So you know it will say looks like mum, you know, looks like dad, etc. So in real time, this has, you know, got everything else beaten hands down, to be honest with you. Do you have any specific questions on it, or does that help?
Yeah, indeed. So, well, indeed, is it indeed quickly enough to make you act in a natural way? I know, for example, with the Orcam, for example, you often, when it was dark, you could also say whether it was a person in front of you. Well, I was talking to somebody on the street and they didn't recognize them. Often the camera would, but then you need to use a flash, and then of course it flashes in their eyes, and they are So. Yeah, so I was wondering whether you have ever done a comparison, or whether it was an improvement, whether somebody was a bit disappointed. Well, not by the technology, but how it works now in real life. It's a nice development, of course. Whether it has already become more mainstream for usable for mainstream use.
If I can just make one point, Stuart, if you don't mind, just in relation to Orcam versus Envision, and bearing in mind I haven't used it at all, so I definitely, Stuart is the expert here, but my experience with Orcam as a totally blind person and a person who had never seen is that I felt Orcam was much more beneficial if you had a little vision, or if you had seen previously and you understood spatial perception and understood how to turn your head in a certain way. And I think Envision, that's the difference. With Envision, you don't need to have that understanding. So I think it's a slightly different use case from my perspective.
Yeah, and Envision just works, you know, and it has to work in real time, you know, for the explore mode, you know, for telling you what objects are round about you, and it has to work in real time, and that's where the huge advantage comes in there. Yeah, I find it much more reliable, to be honest.
Before any lawsuits pursue, I'll just confirm that the Orcam does work as well.
Oh yeah, no, it's a different.
Yeah.
It's only no, I was only joking. It's only
But the Orcam, the other like there was a discussion on chat earlier about this as well. That the Orcam works offline. That's probably one of the main differences.
It does, but the functionality is also completely different.
Yeah.
Whereas that's built around text and text recognition.
Yeah.
This, I believe, the text and text recognition is an add-on to the other brilliant features that are actually part of the device.
I'd
I
agree
think that
with
was
that.
the last thought that they had about the OCR. I think it was literally everything else combined that makes that device.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Bert.
Great. Thanks, Bert. Great question. And we have Fareshti. Fareshti, if you want to ask your question there, if you unmute yourself.
And then we'll go to Steve, and that will be.
Did I say that right?
That will be
Fareshti.
Fareshti.
Kuzrudati. Hello.
Hi, Fareshti.
Hi, good afternoon. Stuart already answered one of my questions about the differences between Orcam and Envision. But my other question is, I remember a few months ago, they said if we want to use the AI Vision, we need to subscribe and pay kind of monthly amount. With this new product, do we still need to subscribe and pay a monthly amount? This is my first question.
No, the app is free. As soon as you buy the Envision glasses, you get the app free for life.
Okay, and my other question is, I presume that this Envision is made with Google Glass and the the AI vision. So, is it available in Android system? Does anybody test it with Android?
It is, believe it or not, the Envision glasses are Android.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Google use Android platform. It's that and Apple. So the glasses are actually, and when you turn them on, believe you won't see if you're visually impaired, but actually on the little Perspex screen that lights up, it says Android as it's booting.
Mm-hmm.
So they are an Android performing as Google with their phones. They all run on Android. So there's no issues with it running on Android or iOS devices.
There is an Android version of the app as well.
My last question is, with Google Glasses, I hear people was able to take a photo or make a video when they are in vulnerable situation. With this glass, are we able to take a photo or make a video?
I suppose you could call someone on the Buddy app if you were feeling vulnerable, I suppose.
Yeah, you could.
I think that's the point. There is no live recording feature, but obviously if you are out and about and you're feeling that there is an issue, obviously buddy calling and having someone on the end there seeing where you're looking is having that. I mean, to be fair, it'd be a massive deterrent if you're sat there talking to someone. And don't get me wrong, if you haven't got an earpiece in, they will hear it as well. And you've then got a camera. If someone's coming towards you, you've then got a camera pointing at them. So it could work in really good as a really security, added personal security.
But you can't. I don't think you can take a picture or do a video, but definitely a video call.
I think the Buddy call is the one.
But you can if you scan text, you can kind of what's the word? Upload it to
your phone.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you
but
can.
yeah, at the moment it's not possible at the moment anyway to take a picture and save it to the glasses or make a video and save it yet.
Okay, Freshta, thank you for your question. We're going to move on because we have to bring in Steve Nutt, who's been very patiently waiting.
We've got one more Steve. Oh no,
we've got two Steves.
Okay, let's go with Steve first. Good friend of Webinar Wednesday.
Hi, Steve.
Hiya, can you hear me?
Steve.
Yes.
We've got you.
So it's not questions really, it's just observations in the hope that it will help some people. I'm totally blind and I've been using a plethora of smart glasses. I mean, this is not new to me. Envision is new to me because I've never used Envision, but I've used Cyber Eyes, I've used Orcam, and I've used several glasses. The mistake totally blind people tend to make, and I hope this helps Stuart Lawler as well, is that they tend to think that pointing at the camera is the right way to go. But what you need to do is centralize whatever you're looking at to your face, in other words, to your nose, because the camera can see across you as well as in front of you. And I just wanted to make that observation. And also the other observation is if you go into languages, I'm sure you can set it to UK English because Google TTS is what it's using, and it's using US English, Google TTS. So I think if you go into languages, you can set it now to UK English. It just happens that your glasses are set to US English.
Thanks, Steve. No, that's good.
That's
great.
worth a try. Yeah,
definitely, and
thank
I will.
You.
And thank you. I will take that in mind.
Next.
Okay.
And the last one we have is Steve Plowman.
Plowman
Hi,
sandwich.
Steve.
Hi, can you hear me?
Hi,
yes.
Steve.
Hi there. Two questions really. One is I heard that the Envision as opposed to the Orcam has an open type platform as opposed to a closed platform or something like that. And I wondered whether you could just explain that to me and what the benefits that brings to being an open platform. I'm not quite sure what that word is, but platform.
I think that's the Android operating system.
Okay.
Because Android is easily built upon. you can add anything. You don't need to get permission from Android. Like if you wanted to put an app on an Apple phone, Apple have to go through a million checks and a million different people to get anything formatted. With Android, you can actually get into the back office and they can change everything, recode it, reword it, add any feature function they want, and it's simple and easy to do.
As
Not
a developer.
Me, but as a developer, yeah. Somebody knows what they're doing. It's easy to do. Not for me. I wouldn't have a clue. But
and Orcam can't do that. So anything that Orcam does in-house. Is that right or something?
it has to be done by or any update or anything. Don't get me wrong. We're not going to mess around with what the Envision glasses do. Some people could get into there, open the hardware, and change everything in there if they wanted to.
Yeah.
But with the Orcam, they are strategic updates that can only happen at that one point. Whereas hopefully with these and the ability to access it and change them really easily, that any tweaks or little twiddles that end users have or need, then these Envision guys can get them set up, send the update out, and obviously it's connected to the Wi-Fi and Bosch. It's updating for you.
I guess that enables Envision to work with any other developer that might come along that Envision want to get into bed with for their product. Is that right?
Exactly what Stuart mentioned with regards to the navigation.
The GPS stuff,
And they are speaking to, if anybody's heard of the Be My Eyes service, you know, don't quote me on it because it's, you know, might be a bit down the line, but again, they are speaking to services such as Be My Eyes as well. And I think it's just worth saying that because Orcam is, you know, a closed system, I think because Envision is open source, sort of, so to speak, an open platform, they have the ability to evolve much more quickly because, you know, other developers can just hopefully port their software over onto these glasses much more quickly as well, you know, because the work's already been done to a certain extent.
Yeah. Just a final question, if I may. I sounded like I was on TV then, didn't I?
Make it in the next 30 seconds, Steve.
Okay. Is there an opportunity to try before you buy?
We are, this is what we should have said really at the beginning. We're kind of given a key worker status as I'm one of the territory managers that's allowed out and about. So we are allowed out to demo. And there is also, if you do buy, a 28-day return. As long as it comes back in the same condition as it gets to you, there's a 28-day full return, bar the shipping. Well, we deliver them anyway, hand deliver them.
So we could try them, but we could trial them in it for 28 days.
You have to pay up front for them, yes.
Of course, yeah.
But yeah, if you're not happy with them within the 28 days, then it's a return.
You can send them back.
Cool. Okay, great. Thank you very much.
There's a 14-day trial on the app as well.
Great.
Which is free, yeah.
Thank you very much. Great webinar.
Thank you, Steve.
Just bear me one sec. John's just asked a quick question. The cost is £2,695 or €2,999.
Good man for giving it in euro, Karl. Very impressed. So
welcome.
Thank you, everybody. This has been a mammoth session. Thanks so much to Stuart for giving not just your time, but your expertise and most importantly, your experience, which I think is just priceless in the context of some very new technology that everybody's very interested in. Thanks to everyone for hanging around with us so long. We thoroughly enjoyed it as always. We're back in 2 weeks, and in 2 weeks' time, we have a special on minding your mental health. And we'll have lots more information about that nearer the time. Thank you, as always, to Karl and to Sharon and to Anna. And look after yourselves and stay safe. And we'll be back in 2 weeks' time. Our colleagues from the AT Social Hub, of course, are here next Thursday. So make sure you join them 10 a.m. on Zoom.
And thanks you, as always, Mr. Lawler.
Yes, thanks, Stuart.
Thanks, everyone.
Pleasure.